and that is the topic which needs to be discussed on today. I will request Professor Rajnikant Panda, head of the Department of History, and he is the convener of today's session, to give a brief introduction about our chief research person, Professor Suryakant Nath. Rajni, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Sir.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Now you can give a brief introduction.
Very good morning to everybody. On the auspices of the national seminar organized by the Department of History in collaboration with the IQSC Subhadra Mohta Mahavidyalaya Sureshwar Patak, I am very pleased to greet our esteemed principal Dr. Dilip Kumar Misra, the chief patron, Professor Mohammad Shakil, the IPSC coordinator, Professor Tadaravindra Vishwal, IPS member, Professor Dr. Supriya Parida, member IPSC, Professor Dibyarani Behra, history, loving students and dear attendees. It's a matter of ecstasy to introduce Dr. Suryakant Natha sir, the Associate Professor and Head of the Department of History at National Defence Academy, Pune, Maharashtra, as a resource person. Although it is impertinent to introduce Dr. Natha sir with my flimsy knowledge, I will proud of introducing him before my students and staff. Basically, he is from our soil, but expanding the gist of Odishan culture there in Maharashtra, Delhi, and many other distant places of India. He did his post-graduation, MPhil, and PhD from Utkal University, JNU, and Utkal University, respectively.
Not
Within
now.
25 years,
I'm in a
sir,
meeting.
within
Wait,
25
wait.
years of teaching experience, he has galvanized the arena of history with three books and 35 to 40 research articles. The national movement of India, Gandhian and regional studies have been getting focused by his research bent of mind. I heartily welcome Dr. Natha sir to talk about the topic history in the age of social media, which is a very significant side for the present day's historians and also the historiography to be dealt with. As a versatile genius, he will add a new feather to the cap of history, which would have a snowball effect upon our upcoming generation. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Um, we have with us our IQSC coordinator, Professor Mohammad Sakil, Professor Padaravindra Bishwal, sir. He is to moderate the question answer session. Um, but before I go, to invite our research person to discuss, to present his paper, um, I would prefer to throw some light on the topic, history in the age of social media. Uh, as you know, in simple words, history is the study of past events. People know what happened in the past by looking at things from the past,
Including sources like books, newspapers, scripts, and letters, buildings and artifacts like pottery, tools, coins, and human or animal remains. A person who studies history, as you say, as you normally know, is called a historian. Let me discuss in a nutshell what to understand by social media. Social media are interactive technologies that facilitate the creation and the sharing of information, ideas, interests, and other forms of expression through virtual communities and networks. While challenges to the definition of social media arise due to the variety of standalone and built-in social media services currently available, there are some common features like social media are interactive, they're internet-based applications, user-generated content such as text, posts or comments, digital photos or videos and data,
generated through all online interactions. That is the lifeblood of social media. Users create service specific profiles for the website or app that are designed and maintained by the social media organizations. Social media helps the development of online social networks by connecting a user's profile with those of other individuals or groups. Let me just speak a few lines about the development of social media platforms. The development of social media began with simple platforms like GeoCities. It was one of the earliest social networking services, launched in November 1994, followed by Classmates.com in December 1995 and 6degrees.com in May 1997. Unlike instant messaging clients or chat clients, 6degrees was the first online business that was created for real people using their real names. As such, according to CBS News, 6degree is widely considered to be the very first social networking site, as it included profiles, friends, and friends lists and school affiliations that could be used by registered users. Research from 2015 shows that the world spent 22% of their online time on social networks, thus suggesting the popularity of social media platforms. It is speculated that the increase in social media's popularity is due to the widespread daily use of smartphones. As many as 4.08 billion social media users. So in terms of crores, it comes to 408 crores, 480 crores. Worldwide, we have found active on smartphones as of October 2020, and many more must have got added in the meantime, just by January 2022. Number of users in Facebook, in social media, that comes to say 274 crores. YouTube users 229 crores. WhatsApp users 200 crores. Facebook Messengers 130 crores. Instagram users 122 crores. WeChat social media 121 crores. And TikTok 68.9 say 70 crores. And Douyin 60 crores. Sina Weibo 51 crores. Some social medias belong to China and many more belong to United States. Let me speak a few lines, add a few lines about the regions of use of social media by adults. While adults are already using social media before the COVID-19 pandemic, more started using it and for additional reasons, particularly to stay socially connected and to get updates on the pandemic. Social media have become popularly used to seek for medical information and have fascinated the general public to collect information regarding the coronavirus pandemic in various perspectives. During these days, people are forced to stay at home and the social media have connected and supported awareness and pandemic updates. So, I would not spoil my friend's valuable time, Suryakant's valuable time in presenting facts and information to you all. We are waiting for our research person, Professor Suryakant Nath, who will discuss the topic history in the age of social media at large. Now over to Professor Suryakant Nath. Surya, unmute your system.
Okay.
Yes, now you're audible.
Okay. Uh, yes.
Surya, is there any technical problem with you?
Is my
Yes, yes, okay.
is my presentation visible?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's legible.
Okay. Uh, Good morning, Professor Dilip, Professor Rajnikant Paul, Madam Suprabha, and all the other ladies and gentlemen, participants of this webinar. And I consider this a very honored invitation to be able to start a conversation on something that is extremely current and where almost everyone can find the relevance, can connect, can feel comfortable, and can engage with, and that is why it's it's been a very decent offer which I could not refuse, and I take this as a privilege to start today's conversation about history in the age of social media. Some questions that crop up as I start my presentation is a few questions which are raised by Robert Fulgham. The first one is imagination stronger than knowledge? Second, is myth more potent than history? Are dreams more powerful than facts? And the fourth one is, does hope always triumph over obstacles? With these words, I just start with the history in the age of social media. And history, a brief introduction has already been provided by Professor Dilip. And it's nothing but story of the past. And the more interesting the story, the more it is acceptable to a wider mass. And Yuval Noah Harari, who wrote about the Sapiens, in fact, says that the histories where we have interesting storytelling has always appealed to the people more than the factually correct information that has been transmitted through the text. And this presentation of mine today will be based on three three themes, relevant themes. One is how reading, writing, and understanding of history has been evolving, whether it is just basically a creation of conception, and where and how social media has been influencing the writing and marketing of history. And the third point is the way forward, how to reconcile the two, social media and history. History as a subject has had a certain tools, certain methods, certain equipment, and also professional qualification which provide competence to an individual to engage in this subject. But social media has somehow barged into this process of history writing, and I would not say it is good or bad. I refrain from making any judgment, but it is definitely, it has dented and it has definitely added more value to the whole process of historical research, and definitely has added a new dimensions to the way we engage with historical research. Every age has its set of needs. Okay. I'll start with the historical writing. The next slide. History in every age has its own set of historians, and its own branch of history. Like we said, every idea has an expiry date. And we also say if the idea is rich, it cannot be changed. So both ways, ideas may have shelf life, and ideas also, if they are powerful enough, will also carry over to different decades and different centuries. History, when we study history, we talk about historiography, or the study of the methods of the historians, how history was written in ancient periods, and what were the tools with which the historians engaged or negotiated the events of the past. Uh, there is one more actually definition when we talk about the definitions of history. There is a definition by William Faulkner. William Faulkner says the past is never dead, and it is not even past. And this actually defines a lot of possibilities that we today find has become extremely relevant, and a platform which has the potential not only to enrich history but also to look at history from a very different point of view. We generally tend to derisively remark WhatsApp images. Most of us, when we try to rubbish something, we dissuade people from posting data or information which we do not approve of. We derisively refer them or disparaging remarks we make, conveniently telling them the WhatsApp university product or WhatsApp university student. But in a way, it has provided us a plethora of emotions while reading and engaging with the past. Never has an age stopped from engaging with the past. When we were students, like I think I read this, every age in history has its own brand of writing, own set of history. And from the ancient times to the present times, history has been undergoing a continuous process of evolution. And it will also continue to evolve. A typical historian's job is normally considered to be threefold: collection of data, classification or organization of the data, simplification of the data, where these and with a well-constructed and vivid narrative that we refer to as interpretation based on an individual historian's judgment. And when we have historian's judgment, it can never be purely subjective. But constructing a historical narrative is always essential because we keep constructing our social identity. That in different periods, we have always tried to construct the past on the basis of how we have tried to construct ourselves and construct an identity of ourselves. Through the ages, we start with the Greek, from the Greco-Roman history telling. The history writing started with Herodotus in Thucydides, where they actually wrote on current political and military theory, mostly focusing on the Persian War. And The function of history to them was not to dig deep into the past, mostly comment on the present and to connect it with the future. And Herodotus also tried to add spices to the narrative that he wrote, including some fabrics where he should add it could actually try and look for political movement while trying to narrate his kind of history. But
আর
from
মোরও
there,
নজর নাই দেখ মোরও নজর নাই যেটা খোলা আছে
someone is commenting. From those days to the present, when one talks about the scientific history of Yankee or the meta history of science, it's a pretty far era. And history has come very far in terms of the thousands of years in which we have tried to engage with the past. Okay. So, in continuing with that, the Western thinkers, they have always tried to view the Orient the way they tried to look at events of the societies which they could not easily explain. And that is why they tried to look into the strange myths and traditions. And the Middle East, in its view and its Christian traditions, accounted for a number of myths. And the metaphysical speculations that I was talking about, it actually was started by Freud, who tried to negate or criticize the natural deterministic view of Oswald Spengler. In India and also in the East, we have a very distinct way of listing different definitions to history. And if, even if it doesn't necessarily associate factuality with history, but there has been a moral mythical capsule into which facts and fiction are judiciously combined for the purpose of religious and spiritual expression of history. As a convenient device to achieve which, they have changed the concept of time, past, to get the future from the present of the past, and the past was narrated in the form of prediction. Even now, these attitudes to the nation and function of history have not changed in some cases. In a broad sense, history is not only the entirety of the past history, but also its account, how it has been presented, how it has been written, and the British historical philosopher R.J. Collingwood, in his ideas of history, he tried to conveniently explain the two facets of history. One is history, what it meant the totality of past doings of man, all that man did, and the second was the account of such doings as recorded by historians. I will just briefly touch upon some of the definitions of history. Many history students who have ever tried to study about or covered this particular aspect would be familiar with all these names. Samuel Butler, I have taken first because God cannot a historian can. Very strong remark. And I think all of us need to realize the importance of the responsibility that a historian carries when he constructs the history. He obviously has to connect with the past and create something which has certain scientific evidence which it can rely upon. Baraclough, the other names I will just go through. History is a series of accepted judgments. Facts of history never reach us in pure form. They are extracted to the mind. So what we get as facts of history is never reaching us in pure form. And that is why we say that History, which is something that happened in distant past, is always going to be treated with history that is from clearly remembered historical times. The history of distant past is always going to be very different from history that is from a clearly remembered historical times. And there is always going to be argument for legitimacy to be provided to the facts of history that has been constructed by historians. The third one is prose. Prose says all history is contemporary. B.K. Ali said history is the parameter of human history. Yet are the most original definition that probably has been provided for history is a continuous interaction between the historian and his fact, and an unending dialogue between the past and the present. This is something which still carries relevance, and in all, whoever has studied history, any student of history would remember this particular definition of Yeats. George Orwell, whoever controls the past controls the future, and whoever controls the present controls the past. This is very, very relevant because these days states intend to create a pool of resources or historical past, create a past of their country as per their convenience, and something that adds to or fits into their scheme of things. So anyone who controls the present controls the past, and through the control over the past, they try to control the future. Venkatacharya, all historical writing is encouraged. That means it is only ad hoc, likely to be questioned, debated, and amended, and obviously rejected with the availability of new information. There are many new information that are coming up about the historical facts, history of our country, history of the world, history of human beings on this earth. And with each new information, history is bound to be either legitimized, validated, or rejected. I think William Faulkner, I said, past is never dead, and it is not even past. That is why it is said, past is getting younger. And